welcome back to Gaming with Marty. Today we have a learning LSPDFR entry to our playlist. Uh, Today I'll be touching on how to basically set up all your INI files so that whenever you're out on patrol and you're wanting to open, a certain mod's end-game menu, we're here to make sure that that menu doesn't necessarily conflict with another menu for a different mod. Now, keep in mind that any edits that you do make, I am not responsible for any errors or crashes that you do or may experience. Probability of that happening is quite low, but just in case, I'd like to throw out that disclaimer. Also, something else to keep in mind, the way I play LSPDFR is I use a PS4 controller in addition to the keyboard. So I actually went ahead and bought a keyboard for the PS4 controller so that it'd be a little bit easier for me to record patrols as well as access all of my menus and keep my hands on the controller on the driving mechanisms themselves. So to start off with, we'll look over here at our keys.ini. Now you'll find this necessarily back in your Grand Theft Auto root file. If you come up to LSPDFR and then down to keys.ini, it'll be right there for you. This ini file pertains directly to LSPDFR itself. So if you're using the vanilla menu, vanilla pursuit menu, vanilla options to accept a call out, start a traffic stop, so on and so forth, this keys.ini is going to be where you want to make all of your edits. Now, if you plan on using a controller, there are a few things in here that you basically want to either set to none or another key that you're going to be comfortable with using. For me, basically, I have everything for controller set to none. So all of the traffic start and stop, backup menu, everything of that sort for the LSPDFR vanilla ini, keys.ini, everything for controller basically is set to none, except for perform arrest, which is E. I also made that D-pad right. And also stop pads, that's going to be D-pad right for me as well. Now, take a quick look at how I have mine set up. If you'd like to copy that over, I have no problems with you doing that at all. Pursuit menu key is in, everything else is set to none until we get down to basically perform arrest and stop pad. And then basically after that, continuing on, the majority of the more important things you're going to be using in your LSPDFR controls, for me, everything is set to none. Reason being is that the stop the pad is the biggest, most popular, and most used mod when it comes to interacting with the pedestrians inside of LSPDFR. Now, that's a good thing because it basically centralizes all of your key presses to one mod. So within the stopthepad.ini file, you're able to basically go through and in conjunction with ultimate backup, because as we get a little bit further into the stopthepad.ini, you'll see that certain things are overridden, overrode, or overridden by ultimate backups.ini. So when we start to look through stopthepads.ini file, we'll see that for the keys, we'll leave these ones basically the default settings, the default values that they have. You are more than welcome to change them. You can add a modifier key, whether that be left control, left alt. Recommend not using left shift because that is an option to start in a traffic stop. However, you can change that as well to whatever you want it to be. But As we continue down and we see buttons, buttons pertain to your inputs on your controller. This is where my controller basically starts to come in for me. Uh, you'll see that the stop the pad button is D-pad right, context menu is D-pad left, gun pursuit is D-pad up, and that allows me to, as you see, if you watch any of my controls, use the keyboard and controller at the same time and have very little menu overlays and menu mishaps. I'll show you a few other of my mods and plugins that I use, and just so you can get the idea of how you can go about setting this up so that you have the least amount of conflictions possible. As you go further down into Stop the Pad, these basically detail how you're going to go about using what the mod itself offers. You can set some of these to no or none. And then here, as I stated before, if you have Ultimate Backup installed, customization for all of this will be ignored. So if you try to basically edit any of this up, all of it just basically is a waste of your time. It's all going to be overwritten by Ultimate Backup. Now, pay attention though, because it is not for everything. Even though it starts here, it only pertains to the coroner for in this instance. In this one here, this one only pertains to police transport. So again, make sure you're reading everything thoroughly and getting a really detailed explanation of everything that you are messing with. Moving over to ultimatebackups.ini. This is going to be very similar to your vanilla backups menu. For me, I have mine changed to the semicolon keyboard or key press on the keyboard itself. For Ultimate Backup, I have mine's set to the right thumb. So when I click into my right stick on my controller, my Ultimate Backup menu pops up. So that way I don't necessarily get that conflict between LSPDFR's backup menu and Ultimate Backup's backup menu. Set those keys to different values, you'll never have that problem. Again, you can go ahead, take the time, look through here, copy all of these settings over to your game if that's how you want to roll. You can test it out, make small edits here and there if the way I have things set up necessarily isn't working for you. I don't necessarily have any panic keyboard or controller set up because I use Deadly Weapons panic mode. So basically whenever a round is fired from one of my service weapons, that automatically sets off my panic alarm. Again, you're going to want to go through the Ultimate Backup INI file just to change a few of your values. Make sure that your game is set up to the way you would like it to be. And we'll take another look over here at the custom INI. This is going to be the custom INI for Grammar Police. Grammar Police, their custom INI. You may want to go ahead and take a look in here so you can set this up, because this is going to allow you to talk to dispatch. The way I have mine's for if I would like to use it on the keyboard, it's going to be under this part here, controls. So I have mine set to my right Alt button, and on controller I have it set to the X button, so I can not only talk to dispatch through the controller if I'm driving through the city, if we're on a call for service, or a pursuit's active and I'm requesting more backup. I don't necessarily have to take my hand off of the controller or even move it down to the attached keyboard that I have on the controller. I can just go ahead, hit the X button, talk to dispatch, let her know what I'm requesting, and we can keep rolling. Again, you're able to change all of these values to whatever you like them to be, however you like your setup to be when you play LSPDFR, and it just basically makes everything a lot easier whenever you're adding more and more mods into your game. You're not limited to only a few input selections to choose from. You have the controller and also the keyboard, and the good thing is that they can be used at the same time. So again, as we look back up here for talking to dispatch through Grammar Police's INI, on the controller I can press X, and on the keyboard I can press the right Alt button. Both of those buttons are going to give me the same result. One's on the controller, one's on the keyboard. So now that we've taken a quick look at some of the more important mods that you may want to customize the INI files first, then you can go into your scripts folder, go all the way through all of your scripts that you've added in, and make sure that everything is basically the way you'd like it to be. Simple HUD, you can have all of your simple HUD options set up the way you would like them to be. There's the menu down here. You always want to look for these options for menus and make sure that they don't necessarily conflict with another type of mod that you have installed. And that way you can use your controller, your keyboard, a controller, a completely separate keyboard, or the combination of the two to make sure that your LSPDFR patrols are the best that they can be. Looking into our LSPDFR folder itself, again, these INI files are going to be your best friends. You just want to open these up, take a glance, read through all of these, because down here at keys you'll be able to customize exactly how you want things to be. For instance, for me, I like all of my conversation options when I'm speaking with pedestrians and everything. I like that to be the Y key. Some mods come in and they're different. In this situation, the default is Y, but again, some mods, the creators, their main key isn't Y. It may be T. It may be I. So you come in here, fine tune each mod that you download using the INI files so that it can be exactly how you want it to be. You can enable, disable particular callouts. Say if you have one that necessarily isn't working, you don't have open interiors running, so you can't necessarily go into the interiors of certain buildings. You can turn off of those callouts. Just put those to false or none, no, disable. Each mod INI file is set up differently, so it's always good to take a few minutes, read through them first, and then go and make your edits, open up your game, and make sure everything is straight. That's Yabin's call out. That's a new update that just dropped today. Looking forward to checking that out. I think there was 2 additional call outs that were added to that pack, so definitely looking to check that out. Let's see if I can find one that affects gameplay somewhat. Police menu. For instance, on this one, police menu's dialogue key is C. So whenever you're creating tickets, whether that be a citation or a traffic ticket, you can print those. To print those, I don't want that. For me, I didn't want it to be my verbal key for conversations being Y, so I made that C. Again, my interaction key is X instead of Y. It just works out for this particular plugin that I'm using. Hey, again, some of these plugins, some of these mods rather, come with rather helpful things. So fixed game memory error. That's included in police menus download. It does actually work rather well for what it offers. So to take the time and figure out exactly what you guys would like to do is something I suggest. It makes everything so much easier in the long run. Coming in here, reading, I would start off with your keys.ini file first. That mainly is where all your issues arise, because when you're downloading all of these new mods and plugins, they come default with their own settings. Now, if you have never changed or modified your keys.ini, the chances are that they are going to conflict with your setup. So go ahead in here, change your keys.ini, see how things work, and if they're not working as smoothly as you like them to be, go right back in and change them. Some of these you can change uh, in game. You just tab out the game, make your edits, save them, and they will work. You won't have to close the game, restart, or any of that. Some of those do that, but there are certain mods and plugins that you do have to do a fresh start. Basically, you know make your edits while the game is closed, save it, and then open the game. Because if the game's open, you tab out, make your edits, save, and then go back to the game. There aren't any necessary the changes that haven't taken place yet, so you have to exit out the game, restart Rage plugin, go through the startup process, and then all your changes will have taken place. But I figured I'd just pop in for a quick video just to show you guys exactly how to get this up and running. Let's take a quick dive over to, I believe I got it on Amazon. I'm pull this one over from my other monitor. I have a 3 monitor setup, so let me just go ahead and pull this up. And basically what I'll be pulling over for you guys right now is what I have excuse me, what I have on my PS4 controller. I've used these type of keypads for, I don't know, the last maybe 10 plus years. Some of them I've had to get new ones over the time, but like this one here with 16 bucks, can't go wrong. It's going to do the same exact thing as this one, which is almost double the price. These things work perfectly, not only with LSPDFR, with any type of application, whether you're just using it to type or search for stuff on your PlayStation, or if you have it linked to your computer. I have a dedicated PS4 controller that I use just for my PC gaming. It works perfectly with that as well. I think I've had this one before as well. Let's see if I can find the one that I had. Orders. Let's see. Quick dive into my shopping habits. Let's type in PS4, see what pops up. And here we go. The last time I bought this was September 26, 2022. Have had no issue with it since. I even purchased PS5 keypads. Let's see if they have one for the PS5. Well, since I typed in PS4, it's only going to show me the PS. And then there's one for the PS5 as well. These things are my go-tos. I've never had an issue with them. I love them. They feel so snug. They fit right in. They're backlit, and they allow you to play at LSPDFR with no issue. So win-win for me. Appreciate you guys for stopping through, checking out this video. If you have any questions or need any suggestions on how you should go about setting your stuff up, shoot me a message over on the community tab. And until next time, you guys take it easy. Peace out.